Hello, I'm Adrian Turner, a leadership coach, author, professional development trainer, speaker, and the host of Fit for Women TV. And welcome to our first episode. That is what we are celebrating today, in addition to the anniversary of women's suffrage movement. Well, let's talk about Fit for Women TV. It's a show for women who want to gain confidence, for women who want to build impactful relationships to increase their success, and for women who want to find opportunities to excel in their life and in their career, because we're going to be providing information and inspiration so that you can keep going, so that you can fulfill your hopes, dreams, and goals and achieve more fulfillment. Our theme today is set your mind on success. Win over worry to achieve your goals. And we're talking about this because the number one thing that you have to do, whether you have a mini goal, a major goal, or everyday goal like exercising, is think on purpose. To think that you can do what you want to do. Success starts in the mind. In fact, research and my own experiences share that hundreds and hundreds of people that I've talked to, the greatest barrier that they find in achieving success, well, it's not because of money. It's not because of resources, even connections. The greatest barrier is their mind. How we think about ourselves, about our capabilities, and even why we think the things that we do. Because what are we doing? We're worrying. We're in a time of crisis, and there's lots of worry going around. We worry if we're good enough, if we're prepared enough. We worry if we'll get sick. We worry if we'll fail. We even can worry if we succeed. But the reality is, the reason why this happens is that 85 to 90% of the things that we think, would you believe that the science says, are not true? The things that we worry about simply aren't true. And the earliest source of that information comes from a gentleman named Thomas Kepler. Thomas Kepler worked with a woman who thought that her fears and her worries were taking over her life. So he told her to record what was happening. And this is what she found. It's really surprising. It helped me in a lot of ways. 40% of the things that we worry about don't even happen. 40%. 30% of the things that she worried about were things that had already happened. Another 12% of the things that she worried about were other people's opinions. And you think about that. We probably could do a whole show just on worrying about what other people think about us. And then 10% of the things that she worried about were health concerns. And because she worried about it, it made her health worse. So it came down to only 8% of the things that we really worry about really are things that we should be concerned about, because life does have some real problems. But here's the good news. You can train your brain. You can interrupt the pattern of your thoughts, because you have the power to do that. So that when I decided to completely reinvent my career and to start a small business, the number one thing I knew I had to do was set my mind on success. I read from the experts. They said to journal, to go to conferences. I must have read and watched every motivational video on the internet. And it is necessary because here's the deal. Fear, worry, and anxiety were knocking on my door. I was doing something that I'd never done before. And my very first guest is someone who kicks fear in the butt. She does know how to win over worry. And that person is Rachael Romig. Rachael is the author of I'm Making Rachael an Author. We're speaking it into existence. Rachael is my first guest. She's an incredible woman who stays mentally fit to achieve her goals. Rachael is the executive director of events and special programs, including the Women to Women program for the Greater Reading Chamber Commerce Alliance, and she is also the owner of Just Breathe Weddings and Events. Rachael's mission across everything she does is to connect people, educate, empower, and bring joy. So let's welcome Rachael to the show.
Thank you so much, Adrian. Maybe I'll be an author one day.
Yes. Yeah, I just called it for you. So, Rachael, thank you for being here. Also on Fit for Women, I wanted to bring real women who represent our community, who are doing great things, and you certainly are one of those people. And so I appreciate you coming today to share about your experiences. So we will start with an easy question. What is the theme of your life right now?
So a couple months ago, I attended a vision boarding workshop. Being an author wasn't on that vision board, but I should put it on there because the more you put it down, the more things become real.
Yes.
But the vision board workshop was instructed and led by, of course, Adrean Turner. And we partnered for Women to Women, and I decided to take part in the workshop. So I brought along a little something. My theme is to be, excuse my language, a badass.
Yes.
Across everything that I do. Mm-hmm. And very quickly, in this 1.5 hour session, I was able to pull this together, and I knew in my mind what I wanted for the future, and I knew what I wanted to do. I'm a new mom. I'm leading Women to Women. I have a small business. Like, I knew what I wanted more of in my life.
Yes.
So that's the theme of 2020.
All right.
Even if I got stopped a little by COVID, but I'm still moving forward, being BA.
And then how are things manifesting for you?
Everything sort of is manifesting as I speculated here. You know, the new year of Women to Women is about being an ally and diversity and getting more people around the table to talk about their ideas. I'm finding better balance. Our son is amazing. I love champagne, bottle of bubbly. Yes. And I just want to joy it up.
Joy it up.
Yeah.
Exactly. So how do you stay joyed up? What is it that you do to manage your emotions and to kick fear in the butt?
So when the pandemic started, I realized all of a sudden I wasn't being myself. Mm-hmm. And I literally was sleeping a lot, and I wasn't I got a great promotion at the GRCA, and I was excited, but I didn't feel excited, and I knew something was wrong. So I try to really stay in tune with what I'm feeling and what is going on in my life. So I called my doctor, and we figured out, maybe you're a little depressed right now. A lot of stuff is going on. You just had a baby. So I've been trying to keep it real by just assessing what's going on in my brain.
Yes.
And I just put that out there because it happens. And I bet it happened to a lot of people during this pandemic. And
yeah,
no one would think that would happen to me because I'm always chipper and cheery and energetic, and it totally got me. So.
Yeah. Well, the great thing is you got support. You were aware of your emotions so that you knew it's time for me to do something different, mm-hmm. so that I could stay in the mental mindset that you wanted to. That is awesome. And thank you for sharing that, because for some people that might be a challenge to get the support that you need. Let's talk about your obstacles, because we want to help women when they are facing a challenge to understand things that they can do so that they can push forward.
Yeah. For me, I very much put everything on paper. I'm very much, I use a lot of paper still, even in the technological age. I look at pros and cons. I think about where I want to be when people talk about a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, I had never thought about that until recently, because felt like my life just got started a couple years ago. I really am passionate about what I'm doing, and I love what I'm doing. And, we're moving forward in a good direction. So I'm always putting on paper my goals and where I want to be. And then who around me in my circle can help me achieve that, as well as support me. And who in that circle or outside of the circle can I support to help them move their ideas forward. So I'm just always putting things on paper.
Yes.
Because when it's visual, it happens.
Exactly. And you made a point to say, and who could help you and who you could help. Because when you're around other people that are inspirational or even in a different mindset, like you can feel really sappy and then call someone and that can change your outlook and your thoughts. So that's a great thing to do.
I love collaboration. Brainstorming with other people is, even if you think you're the most creative in the room, you are not the most creative in the room, because ideas start to spiral.
Yes.
When you surround yourself with people that you don't know or just new ideas. So I love getting together with people and talking just through anything.
That's right. So our mindset determines the actions we take, and that gets our results. You're taking the right actions. As we close here, what's a message that you want to leave with our viewers? How they can win over worry, how they can, just take off like a rocket, like you have been doing based on your vision board to achieve the goals.
I definitely say surround yourself with positivity and positive people. It's amazing how quickly you can be drained by even one person who doesn't support you moving forward. And whether that means just getting up and going to class that day, there are people that are suckers.
Yes.
And they suck it out of you.
They invite you to their pity party.
Yeah.
Decline those invitations.
And so you said you watched everything on the internet. I feel like I follow everyone on Instagram that's empowering and inspiring. And I see all the time, surround yourself, look around you. And the people that are around you should be challenging you at all times, because that will make you figure out what your passions are, where you want to grow, and let them help you along, even though if you don't have a plan.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you so much, Rachael. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anything that you want to share about an upcoming event or how people can get in contact you for maybe your business, Just Breathe?
Sure. If you'd like to attend any Women to Women events, you can visit BerksWomen2Women.com. We have on September 22nd our digital summit send-off. Our keynote, Jen Jamila, is a running high school graduate, now lives in New York, and we'll be talking about how to engage male allies and tools to unbias your life in your office. And I'm a wedding and event planner through Just Breathe. I say that all the time, just breathe. Especially this year, Just Breathe.
Yes.
It's justbreatheevents.co. And I really wanted to say thank you to Adrean. You are an inspiration every day. I'm honored to be on your show. And I brought you just a little cheerfulness.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Rachael. I really appreciate it. Well, as Rachael mentioned, it's so important to manage our thoughts, surround ourselves with people who inspire us for us to stay fit, and then write it down, get a vision board. So let's listen to Mel Robbins as she shares about the power of visualization as we get ready for our next guest.
If you expect to achieve your goals, if you expect to reach your potential, if you expect to have your dreams come true, what I'm about to explain to you is mission critical. You must become a master at visualization. Now, for those of you that are like, what the heck is she talking about? I did not sign up for some sort of meditation woo-woo spiritual thing here. Don't worry, this is Mel Robbins. There's always science and research involved in everything that I talk about. So visualization is a extraordinarily powerful skill. And you may have heard of the law of attraction. You may have heard of the word visualization. You may have heard of the word manifesting. I call it seeing signs. So I'm a master at seeing positive signs. I am a master of creating coincidences. I have the world's most incredible luck. You want to know why? Because I understand the science and the skill of visualization. I know that your brain, it is a gigantic detective machine. Your brain is a filter. Your brain is constantly looking for evidence. And that's good news. It's good news when you know how to use it to your advantage. Let me explain. So your brain has a system in it. Here's the technical term. It's called the reticular activating system. It is a network of neurons all up in here. And what is the job of the reticular activating system? It is a filter system. It's basically a system that allows certain information in your brain and it blocks out other information. And guess who programmed that filter? You did. And so did the people from your past. And so if you constantly feel like you're unlovable, guess what? Your reticular activating system is going through the day and it is going to point out every single piece of evidence that confirms that negative belief that you have. If your goal is to improve your self-worth, I want you to visualize what your life looks like and how you're going to feel about yourself when your self-worth has improved.
Visualization is a very powerful tool to help you, as my mother says, get your mind right so you can think on purpose for your success, because it's challenging. It's a bad way to make decisions if you're irrational in your thoughts. You can't make rational decisions. We can't make the best decisions for our success. So I hope that you have learned from Mel a little technique that you can do to set your mind on success. And now we have joining us my second guest. Her name is Michelle Thornhill. She is the founder and CEO of Legacy Hope LLC, a boutique company that helps people move forward from pain that comes with the loss. She's also the Philadelphia chapter president of the International Association for Women. And Michelle not only encourages individuals to live fully, but she shows them how. And I'm grateful for our friendship and our relationship. Let's welcome Michelle.
Thank you so very much for having me on your show.
Well, thank you for being here, Michelle. And you are so dynamic. You have like 7 titles under your name. You certainly prove that we can have it all. It might come at a little cost, but we'll talk about that in terms of keeping ourselves mentally fit. So when I had a chance to chat with you the other day, you had a quote photo in your background that read, "She designed the life she loved." Tell us why that has so much meaning to you.
Well, we all wake up with the same 24 hours available to us, and it all depends on how we decide to use those 24 hours. It's nice to celebrate here because that picture actually helps me to be able to celebrate my life and to celebrate it absolutely every single day on purpose, with determination and intention, and also with a touch of optimism.
I'm going to give you a hand clap. That was wonderful because we have to live intentionally, as you said. I often share this quote that says, "This is not a dress rehearsal." This is not a dress rehearsal.
Yes.
You get one life, one shot. We're not in a practice run. So you want to manage yourself in a way that you can take advantage of all opportunities. So tell us, Michelle, what's the theme of your life right now, maybe pre-COVID? What would you like to share?
Well, the theme of my life is to dare to live your life the way that you want to live it. Have it be custom made the way that you want to live it, because, like you said, this is not a dress rehearsal. You only get one shot and you don't want to blow it.
Yes.
As family service director for some historic cemeteries over the course of my career, I noticed how people were living lives of quiet desperation instead of doing everything that they want to do and to live fully and die empty, leave nothing undone. That's the theme of my life.
Yes.
I want every day to count.
Yes. Now, I'd like to share a bit about, you told a story about one of your very first jobs. So Michelle has a very interesting career, and she worked at a funeral home. And would you believe that's the thing that attracted me to her? I was like, who would want to do that? And I need to know this woman. And once you get to know her, you understand so much more. So will you tell us about that?
Yes, sure. Well, funeral service and grief support is my life's work.
Yes.
It's all that I've ever done for the most part. I took a sabbatical and did something else. But when you know your purpose in life, it's sort of like a catapult. It just pulls you right back.
Yeah.
So I started back in 1985 at our local funeral home. I knocked on the door one day and said, I want to be a funeral director. And the reason I wanted to be a funeral director is because, well, my father is number 17, forgive me, out of over 20 children. And so I have over 100 first cousins.
Yes.
And with that, we were going to funerals back to back. And I saw the difference between some funerals that were grand and some that were more modest. And I wanted to know more about that. What's that all about?
Yeah.
And because we had such a big family, of course, we love one another.
Mm-hmm.
And just because someone has passed on doesn't mean that you have to stop loving them. So I wanted to make sure that I continued to take good care of people, whether they were alive or whether they passed on.
And I appreciate you sharing that, because you really embody a woman who maybe even not the traditional way that other people might think you should try to have a career. Just do what's in your heart, and then you will be in a space where you can be your best self so that you can serve others. Michelle, will you share with us before you leave today, what's a message that you want to provide for our viewers?
I would say consider the vision that you have for your life.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure that you make it plain and make a plan and prepare that plan absolutely every day for things that you want to accomplish that will help you to fulfill your vision.
There you go. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. We are so glad that you could join us. One of the things that I know is very important for us to grow and to win over worry is to understand that anything is possible. As long as you train your brain, interrupt those patterns, you can achieve what you believe. Let's take a moment to listen to some inspiration from the Oprah Winfrey.
Rule number 26, you become what you believe.
Create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life, because you become what you believe. When I was a little girl, Mississippi, growing up on the farm, only buckwheat is a role model, watching my grandmother boil clothes in a big iron pot through the screen door because we didn't have a washing machine and made everything we had. I watched her and realized somehow inside myself and the spirit of myself that although this was segregated Mississippi and I was colored and female, that my life could be bigger, greater than what I saw. I remember being 4 or 5 years old. I certainly couldn't articulate it, but it was a feeling, and a feeling that I allowed myself to follow. I allowed myself to follow because if you were to ask me what is the secret to my success, it is because I understand that there is a power greater than myself that rules my life. And in life, if you can be still long enough in all of your endeavors, in the good times, the hard times, to connect yourself to the source. I call it God. You can call it whatever you want to, the force, nature, Allah, the power. If you can connect yourself to the source and allow the energy that it is your personality, your life force, to be connected to the greater force, anything is possible for you. I am proof of that. I think that my life, the fact that I was born where I was born and the time that I was and have been able to do what I've done, speaks to the possibility, not that I am special, but that it could be done.
It can be done. Anything is possible. So I want you to make a decision today to do something, one thing that will get you closer to your goals. One thing that will help you to interrupt the negative stinking thinking patterns that interrupt our brain and reduce our power. Maybe you'll create a vision board like Rachael did. Increase your positive self-talk, journal, do something. But we want to get rid of that stinking thinking. And remember this, life is like a camera. Focus on what's important, capture the good times, develop from the negatives, and If it doesn't work out, just take another shot. We want to thank our guests today, Rachael Romig and Michelle Thornhill, for joining us and sharing their experiences. And then we hope that you will join us again next September the 18th, same time, same place. And in the meantime, go on Facebook and join the Girl Power Group, or you can subscribe to the podcast or the weekly newsletter. I'm Coach Adrean, encouraging you to stay fit, to be fearless, to be inspired, and transform for greater success. Have a fantastic day.
Thank you for watching Fit for Women on BCTV with Coach Adrean. And catch up with Coach Adrean Turner at www.coachadrean.com.